$2,000 and bonus checks for Social Security? That's a good question and exactly what I want to focus on for you right here in the video. So let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to share with you the details of what I've been reading recently about $2,000 and how they're now looking at this as bonus checks for Social Security beneficiaries. Now, this $2,000 would be on a monthly basis, and I do want to share with you the details about this because this is a very interesting way to think about it and a very interesting way to approach the situation that's out there, and I do want to share with you exactly what I've been reading about this as well as why they've identified this $2,000 threshold. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. Really fast before we do, thanks so much for joining me. If you're new here or if you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe right down below the video. There's the big old subscribe button down there. Make sure to hit that if you have not done so yet, as I'm here for you right by your side each and every day, doing all the necessary research so that you don't need to, breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay posted on what's actually going on as things continue to change very rapidly right now. We're getting a lot of new information coming out. A lot of things are happening, and we know 2024 and the next year and a half or so are going to be incredibly busy when it comes down to Social Security, because this is what everybody is talking about right now, because it is a hot button issue. Either way, I'm here for it in any way that I possibly can be as your one and only daily advocate, as I have been for nearly 4 years now, and I will continue to be every single day going forward. That's my commitment and my promise to you and everybody here in the community, and as always, I'm sticking to it. So again, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Let's get into it and talk about $2,000 a month and how they're looking at this as bonus checks. Yeah, interesting, okay? So it's all about perception, right? Everybody looks at something a little bit differently, right? We all look at a different situation and have a different interpretation or meaning of that situation. Well, let me share with you exactly what they're talking about here and what this $2,000 a month actually means and why this is the line in the sand. Why is it not $1,900? Why is it not $2,100? Why isn't it $4,000? What is the difference here? Why is it about $2,000 a month is what they're looking at here. All right, so very interesting stuff. So as of right now, there's about 64 million Social Security retirement beneficiaries, okay? Now I'm using this as an example. Now this is all encompassing across the board for Social Security beneficiaries, but I'm just using this as a quick example here. Now, as of right now, the average Social Security retirement benefit is a little bit over $1,800 a month, okay, for the average retirement beneficiary. Now, obviously, that's a little bit different depending on the benefits that somebody's getting. And again, I'm just using this as an example to put it all into perspective here. However, here's what's going on. They continue to find from these reports, which, by the way, I've read a number of reports about this, and I've seen this popping up in a variety of different ways, but they continue to find that the vast majority of beneficiaries out there who are getting around this $2,000+ a month, and again, it could be $1,950, it could be $2,100, it could be $2,050, whatever, around that $2,000 a month is what they found here, okay? So people that are getting over $2,000 a month or thereabout typically look at their Social Security check as a bonus check. And meanwhile, those individuals that are getting less than, again, it's not necessarily a hard line in the sand, but about that $2,000 range, look at it more as a safety net or vital check that they need to cover all the basic necessities and things like this. So, okay, let's dig into these meanings a little bit further here and see what are they actually talking about and what does all of this actually mean for the beneficiaries going forward, okay? So as of right now, the maximum benefit for a Social Security beneficiary is actually well over $4,000. That's the most somebody can get right now, provided they waited until 70 and they maxed out their benefits and things like this. They can get well over $4,000. That is a ton of money, right? That's a lot of money on a monthly basis and an annualized basis as well, right? But here's what they also found. Generally, those people that have about $2,000 a month or more in Social Security benefits also have other sources of income, okay? So this is why they might be perceiving this as a bonus check. So typically, these individuals have other income from other sources, including maybe they're still working part-time or full-time. Maybe they have things like investment income, portfolio income, dividend income, rental income, annuities, a pension, whatever happens to be, the list goes on and on. A lot of different things out there that could provide income for these individuals. So they're looking at the situation, and a lot of times anybody that's getting over that $2,000 a month, or again thereabout is kind of the threshold, is usually like a bonus check type of person, right? Now, obviously, this is not all-encompassing. This is not every single person out there, but this is just kind of what they're finding from these studies. Now, there's been some talk out there, and again, I've seen this before multiple different times. They've introduced this in a variety of different ways, but they've talked about, but wait, if a lot of people who are getting over $2,000, give or take a little bit, are looking at this as a bonus check and they have multiple other sources of income, we could really balance out Social Security for all the low-income beneficiaries who are well below the federal poverty line by maybe shaving down higher income beneficiaries' benefits and shuffling that money over to the lower income beneficiaries, and eventually over long periods of time, meeting somewhere in the middle called equilibrium, right around that $2,000, okay? Now, again, I've seen some different numbers out there as far as where this would hit. Anywhere between about $2,000 and $2,200 a month is what it would actually come out to be if they shaved down higher income beneficiaries and took all that money and shuffled it over to lower income beneficiaries. Eventually, if they did that long enough over long periods of time, the equilibrium would be right around that $2,000 to $2,200 range, okay? So, sounds interesting, right? Yeah, exactly. So, that is one of the concepts, one of the plans that I've seen floating around. Now, here's another one that I've heard about as well. Since these other higher income beneficiaries, the highest of the high beneficiaries that get, thousands and thousands of dollars a month from Social Security, again, the other idea out there was, why don't we focus on the top, say 10% or 15% of beneficiaries who get the highest benefits, shave their benefits down a little bit each and every year, and then take that money and shuffle it over to lower income beneficiaries who are well below the federal poverty line. As a result of this, eventually, what would happen is when all lower income beneficiaries are brought up to the federal poverty line, then this would be ended, right? So then they basically say, okay, we brought down higher income beneficiaries' benefits enough. Lower income beneficiaries have been brought up to the federal poverty line. We've just lifted millions of people out of poverty. Nobody is living in poverty anymore as a result of fixed income benefits. And then again, they took that money from essentially the higher income people who, according to the resources and according to the studies and surveys and research and stuff like that, have higher income benefits anyway. And again, they also have multiple other sources of income. So they're not reliant on their Social Security checks. Now, here's what's interesting about it. They continue to find 40% of lower income Social Security beneficiaries rely on 90+% of their check for all or most of their income, okay? So as a result of that, you can clearly see that there's a lot of people out there that are relying on their Social Security for their monthly benefit, as well as there's also 60% of people that are not necessarily relying on 90+% of their benefit for their income. So what it simply means is there is a percentage of people, whether it's 10%, 15%, 20%, something like that, who are probably not reliant on their Social Security check at all. Okay, well, this is probably the highest income beneficiaries. Now, again, it's not all encompassing. Just because somebody has a high Social Security benefit does not mean that they have 15 other sources of income that that brings them tons of money every single month. Not the case. There are probably some people out there that are getting a very high Social Security benefit, but yet they're reliant on all of it for their monthly income for, a variety of reasons, right? So anyway, pretty interesting concepts, but this is what I've been reading about as of recently, and I thought this is actually very fascinating as I wanted to talk through the details about it with you here in this video. And again, equilibrium, according to what they've been saying, and again, equilibrium, that line in the middle as far as if they were to level out benefits, basically shave down higher income benefits and shuffle that money over to lower income beneficiaries, if they did that long enough, where would they meet? It'd be right around that $2,000 to $2,200 range, according to right now. So that's what they're essentially labeling these people and these higher income beneficiaries as, bonus check beneficiaries, right? So would you like that label, right? That's what they've been talking about here in these studies that I've been reading about this is, do you want to be a bonus check beneficiary? I don't know. I can't imagine many people would enjoy that label, right? Because, everybody has their own reasoning and everybody has, different reasons for why they need the money and stuff like that. And again, if this is the benefit that they've earned through however many years of, paying in through Social Security payroll taxes and however many years of service that they put in, things like this, again, it's just, that's how Social Security works, right? It's based on your 35 highest years of income. Any years that have zero income is obviously a zero, bringing down the average lower. So again, that's a whole other topic in and of itself. And again, I can cover all of that in a separate video, but thought this was super fascinating. So again, a couple different concepts out there. One would be, leveling out the benefits, meeting somewhere around that $2,000 to $2,200 range. The other concept would be basically shaving down higher income benefits because they're bonus check beneficiaries, according to what they're saying, and then shuffling that over to the lower income beneficiaries, raising it all up at least to the federal poverty line. So that would actually accomplish quite a few things at the same time. Now, would higher income beneficiaries, the bonus check beneficiaries, would they appreciate their checks being shaved down? I can't speak for them because obviously I'm not one of them. I don't know, but probably they wouldn't love it, right? But there's actually other politicians out there. So this is actually interesting as well. As I was doing research on this, I actually listened to a speech from some different senators who were talking about, hey, they have plenty of money, right? They're like, hey, we got plenty of money here. We're doing fine in our retirement. They can clearly, and they can take some of my Social Security benefit. That's fine. So it's like, okay, maybe maybe lawmakers should give up their Social Security benefit then. If they're so willing to let them shave it down or things like that, maybe they should do that, right? Yeah, right? I agree. So anyway, we'll see what happens here. But again, I just want to bring this to your attention. We don't know what's going to happen here with Social Security, but we do know it will be reformed to some degree at some point here. We know that for a fact because it has to be. It's not like a choice. They're not down to the wire here saying, well, we can do this. It's completely optional. It's a discretionary adjustment. No, this is more of a necessity because if they don't adjust Social Security, we know what's going to happen. Insolvency, right? We know that. And they have to make those changes sooner than later because it's going to take a while. It's not something they can do a month before. It has to be done years and years in advance to account for the draining or the lowering of the Social Security Trust Fund. They can do it for a while. They still have plenty of money, but every single month that goes by, that trust fund is getting lower and lower and lower every single month, right? So the sooner they can get a fix on this, the sooner they can figure something out, the better off the program is going to be for longevity into the future. Make sense? Anyway, hope this one helps you. Again, just want to bring this to your attention really quickly. I'm doing research all day, every single day, bringing it to your attention here in these short videos. And again, like I said, watching everything very closely so that you don't need to do all the research and then just delivering it to you in these videos because I want to help you out as much as I can. So let's stay tuned. I'll continue to keep you posted. Again, subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel. Until next time, enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one. Leave your comments, your questions, your feedback down below. And as always, enjoy. I'll catch you again later in the